Hi, this is Jim with Regenerate, Don't Degenerate. Don't have a good exercise studio today. We're traveling, but I don't want to miss a day on getting these videos created and giving you routines for each day. Now this is Wednesday, so
the end of Wednesday.
Yeah, this is actually the end of Wednesday. I would have liked to had it been the start of Wednesday, but we were traveling to get to a graduation that was held today. So we made it, and I'm going to get this put on. But you know,
probably won't get it till Thursday.
The sequence is important. The first day was full body. The second day was core. The third day is going to be upper body. So we're going to be working on our upper body today, so, which is great. You know, that's what we need to do. And then tomorrow we're going to do lower body, and I'll have that on a little bit earlier, and I will have a better situation for doing that. But like I'm so I'm telling you, this is Wednesday. So this is the Wednesday routine for this week, and you need to warm up. So if you haven't warmed up, you know, doing some walking, running, swimming, biking, whatever you do to get your cardiovascular going, 5 to 10 minutes. You know, you can just walk around the room, you can do jumping jacks, whatever you may need to do, but get your heart rate elevated, get your blood flowing a little bit better, just get your muscles warmed up. The reason that I say that is that we're going to be doing movements and so forth, that if you haven't warmed up, there's a chance that you could injure yourself, and you don't want to injure yourself. And I also know I had someone ask about, could you do a morning stretch routine? And I'm going to do some more investigation on that question. What I have been taught about stretching, which is different than what I learned when I was young, is that if you stretch when you're not warmed up, you can injure yourself. It doesn't help you. What are we doing?
However, as a nurse, I just want to tell you that there were exercises that I taught my patients to do before they got out of bed. That were
they were movement exercises.
They're movement exercises, like to take your foot and move it like this, back and forth, and pull it while you're in the bed, because that gets the circulation going before you put your feet on the ground.
Some of the stretching that we do is okay. Some of it can be injurious, and we need to differentiate between them.
Yeah.
You know, that is the angle I need to take it on.
There you go.
I've wondered how to do that, and that's how I'm going to be doing it. So that's
the
fine.
nurse in me was just like, no,
I appreciate that, because I've been attempting to figure out how to answer that question. So enough of the jibber jabber. It's time to be doing some upper body movements. So we're gonna be starting with our hands and our fingers. So we're gonna start. This is a simple one. We're gonna take our fingers and we're gonna push them together. So we're pushing with our fingers. We're not using our arms to push, but we're keeping our arms solid, and we're pushing with our fingers as hard as we can. We're just doing some pushes. This is an isometric. Isometric is good, but we're doing some pushing to help out these fingers a bit. Now we're just going to do one finger at a time, just doing our thumbs together, our pointy fingers together, that index finger together, number 3, and a little pinky. Very good. Now, take your fingers, hold down with one, and we're going to be pushing up with the other. Now, we're not pushing up with our wrist, we're pushing up with our fingers. So we're trying to make our fingers go like that. So you're doing a push up and you're holding them down. You're holding them down. Strengthening them, working on them a bit. It's important. We got to keep those muscles going, and this is one way we can do it. Hands are important. And what do we do where we're not using our hands? There's very little. We're going to switch sides. Boy, that's a bit of a workout there, isn't it? We're pushing up now with the other side and holding it down, keeping it, trying to hold it up as much as we can, trying to keep it held up. For those of you who like to rock climb, you're probably saying, hey Jim, this is easy stuff. But for those of us who don't do a lot of rock climbing, this is a way to do it. So we're going to be pulling now. We're just pulling with our fingers. So, you know, this is going to work on your wrist. You're going to feel it in here. but we're just pulling with our fingers, pulling against one another with our fingers. Trying to get them strengthened up there, trying to get them strengthened up. How are we doing with that? Is that working on you? You probably feel that in here. Yeah, you're getting some workout you're not used to getting. So now we're going to go ahead, this time we're going to be pushing with our whole arm. This isn't about fingers. We're pushing our arms against one another. So the arms are pushing against one another. Good hard push. Good hard push. Keep pushing for a bit, keep pushing for a bit. Now we're gonna push it to one side. So one side is giving in, the other is pushing over to it. Just push back the other way. Keeping lots of pressure on it. Now core is engaged. Today is not a core day, but the core is engaged. Okay, shake that a little bit, let those arms rest. We're kind of getting them worked out really well, aren't we? So this next one, we're going to be working on kind of, this is our shoulder, a little bit our arms in here. And I know you can't see my hands, but trust me, out the side of the screen, they're sticking out there and the fingers are pointing out. But we're holding our hands out, and let me kind of slide over so you can see this hand, both arms out. We're just making some circles with our arms. We're going forward circles and we're holding our arms out. Now if you get tired, you got to let them down, let them rest, and then come back and let's do this a little bit more. Do as much of this as you can and rest when you got to. Come back to do some more. Let's go around a few more times. We're getting those exercised well. Okay, let's take them backwards now. Keeping them out straight. Keeping our core engaged. We can do this standing, we can do this sitting, either way. And we're keeping our posture upright. Okay, let's let those arms down. How's that feeling? Get a little bit of workout in there? I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so. That's really what we're trying for here. So we're gonna, if we had weights, if we were stronger, we could do this that way. But I think for getting us started, for those of us just getting started, let's go ahead and let's lift our arms all the way up as far as we can. Bring them down. We're going up as high as we can. Bringing them down. Up as high as we can. Yep, this is doing us some good. I can tell we're getting these arms worked out. This is important. You know, arms are a major part of the upper body, aren't they? And getting them worked out is pretty important. Let's do a few more of these lift up over the head kinds of things. Okay, let's kind of let that shake out a bit. Now this next one, let me set back so you can see. Gonna have this arm's kind of making this elbow square thing here, and it's going to be pulling up. We're pulling it up. So you can do it out in front of you, which is probably better. That's what I'm trying to show you. We're pulling it up. Another isometric where this is working on this, your upper arm there for the most part. Although getting a little bit of work in my wrist, which is a good thing. So keep that pulling up. Keep it pulling up. Nice, push hard. If you got to rest, stop and rest, okay? And come back after you've rested and let it do a little bit more. Okay, kind of shake that out. We're switching sides now. Maybe if I sit on a pillow, you'll be able to see me a little bit better. There we go. So we're pulling up. This arm is pushing down, so I guess it's getting worked out a little bit. But the one on the bottom, that's the one we're really trying to work hard. We're pulling up, kind of like we're doing a curl, but it's an isometric. We're just holding it in one place. Pushing up as hard as we can. Getting that push in there, trying to get that muscle strengthened. Teaching it, come on muscle, get stronger, you can do this. Okay, just a little bit more, just a little bit more. Okay, let's let that go. We're going to work on our shoulders a little bit. Just kind of pick our shoulders up, down. Up we go, down we go. It's kind of, we're shrugging our shoulders. Now keep ourselves erect, right? Good posture, we're sitting up straight. Getting those shoulders going up and down. Getting a good workout for them, right? That's the important thing here. A couple more of these. Hopefully you're feeling that, getting the motion there, getting those going. Okay, kind of shake that out a little bit. Now we're going to work our wrists just a little bit. This is more for movement. We're just going to be bending them up and down. Once again, you can work yourself up to where you have weights as you're doing this. It's kind of working our upper arm too as we're holding them out straight. This is really about bending those wrists as far as they'll go and bringing them back. You could say this is a bit of a stretch, I suppose. It's a motion stretch to keep those muscles going, get the wrists going. Now let's take them back and forth like this. Look away at each other, look at each other, right? There we go. So good motion going on there. Let's kind of take this wrists around like this. Jim, this seems like easy stuff. Tell you what, it is. But we're getting these joints. Now let's reverse it. I can't reverse it very well. A few more of those. Okay. So, you know, we're using our muscles a bit, we're moving our joints a bit. If we haven't been using them very much, we're probably feeling this. So, you know, that's important, that's good. That's what this is all about, is getting these things moving that we haven't been used to moving hardly at all. And that's pretty important. So this next one, we're going to be pushing out. I'm going to hold this hand out like this, and with this hand I'm going to be pushing as hard as I can to go out. This is going to be working this in here as well as some of your pectorals, so that's valuable. Now we're keeping our core engaged, we're sitting up straight, standing up straight, whatever we're doing. But this arm is straight down here, 90 degree, and we're pushing out straight, okay? We're pushing it as hard as we can. Good hard push. Getting that muscle. Come on, we can do this. We're pushing. And we're kind of working the other arm too, aren't we? Like I'm saying, that's kind of how it works, okay? It's kind of how it works. Now hold on to that wrist. Well, no, it doesn't have to be the wrist. Well, that's the best way to hold. Try to, I guess, lock your hand and then pull it back. Pull it back. We're pulling it back. I like to work opposite muscles in concert, so that we don't just build them up on one side, but we get the pair building. That's pretty important to do. And we're really kind of working a set of muscles on both arms when we do that, aren't we? Let's switch to the other side. We're making this fist, arm here to 90 degree, and we're pushing out straight as hard as we can. Keeping that arm pushing, keeping that arm pushing. We're pushing that arm. And we're pushing it hard. Getting it going there, it's activated, and this other arm is feeling like, well, you're working me too. Hey, that's what this is all about. But I'm feeling it quite a bit in here as well as in this arm, so that's great. So now we're going to switch to where we're pulling it back. I've got my arms cupped, and my hands cupped and held, and I'm pulling this guy back. I'm pulling him back. Pulling him back hard, really hard, really hard. Okay, simple routine. Now if you felt this wasn't enough, you can repeat the whole thing again. Now's a good time to do stretches. I'm not going to demonstrate stretches here. I'm going to make another video that's just stretches that can be used all the time. And some of my other videos I've shown some stretches. If you want to go back and look at those, they're there. I think I may have them labeled as stretches, so you know, look through the playlist and the archives that are there, and see what you can find in the way of videos that have to do with stretching it out. But keep in mind, now this is all about hanging on to what we have, not letting our muscles and our bones degenerate to the point that we can use them less and less. If we will work them every day doing these exercises that I'm doing in addition to what you're doing, whether it's your garden, your homestead, whatever you might be working on, we're touching all the parts of the body and strengthening them all. You're going to find that these tasks that you typically have to do become easier for you to do. There's going to be less aches and pains because we're working all the muscles, all the joints, balancing them out, encouraging proper posture, and as you get better and better at that, then there's less discomfort, less pain, less problems that you're going to have. So it's going to be important that we figure that out, that we follow through on that. Not we've got it figured out, we need to follow through. That's the real trick. One other thing I want to say, I know that primarily we have women who are watching and practicing these exercises, and that's fantastic. I know what I've witnessed and what I hear in a lot of the comments and the feedback that I get is that many of the men are, for whatever reason, they don't want to do these things. They're embarrassed by it. They feel they don't need it. You know, I don't know what all the answers are. My response is, you know, that's fine. Maybe you don't. You probably don't. But what I'm talking about, I'm not talking about a lifestyle change. I'm not talking about you need to be in better shape. I'm not talking about you need to be healthier. What I'm talking about is to regenerate yourself. Regenerate your cells are always replacing. And if you don't work them properly, when they replace with less. It's not going to be as good, and you're going to degenerate and have less and less capabilities. So what I'm talking about is, as the years continue to roll on for you, is you can feel better, you can be able to do more and more. And my intention is to live to be to 120, and that's why I want to do these exercises. But I want a lot of people, I don't want to be alone in doing that. I want other people to join me. And what I'm telling you men is that don't leave your wives early. Get yourself in shape, stay in shape, exercise, eat right, be around, be available, be capable of doing all the things that you should be doing as you get older. Instead of less and less, be able to do more and more. That's what I'm talking about can happen. I see it happen for many. I want to be one of those for whom that happens, and I want to stick around for a long time to come. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and enjoy, and give me your feedback on what you're liking, what kinds of things you want to see, and we'll get those incorporated. But tomorrow we're going to be doing lower body, different kinds of exercises, and it will be on earlier in the day, I promise. Take care.